Hi, I'm Luis Sanchez. Today's tutorial is about Mess Connector. This framework is the one responsible for messaging and pub/sub features in our SDK. In today's tutorial, you will learn about adding the Mess Connector framework to your project. Start listening to your message, handling incoming messages from another user, and also sending messages to another user. In this video, we will extend the group management app to have a message capability, as you can see here. We have a group details with all the list of members. If I click in one of the members, the app now takes me to a chat area. If I click in the Compose button on the top right, I can actually send a message to a user, and I can also receive a message from a user in this chat area, as you can see here. Let's see how to design this application. So let's start with the sending message. To send a message to a user is quite simple. It's just one method, and this is an instance method, so we can need to call it via the current user. Here I send a hello to the user I selected in the group list. Now when you receive any message, the first thing you need to do is actually start listening to your message. And for that you need to call the method start listening to my message, which is also an instance method and should be called by the current user. You can also stop listening to your message if you want, and it's the same way. So when the message arrives, you need to handle those messages. The first thing you need to do is actually add a listener. In our case, it's called Mess Connector Message Receive Notification. Once the message arrives, that notification will be triggered, and the method that you assign to it will be called. In my case here, it's called Message Receive Notification method. The important point about this method is that inside the notification object comes the mass message object, and this is the one you should get it and work with it. Inside the method, you will realize that we have data about the sender, payload, and many other data important about the message. So let's open Xcode and see how to implement this application. To add the framework to our project, it's very simple, as you already know. We just need to drag and drop the framework file, as connect in this case, to our project inside Xcode. Copy items if necessary, and that's it. Alright, so now that we have the framework inside our project, let's start to use the message feature. I'll create a method called sendMessage, and inside this method, the first thing I need to do, as we already learned, is to get the current user. So let me create a variable called myUser and get the current user. Okay, now that I have the current user, I can call any message API from the framework. Let's see how it works. myUser send message to user. That's the one. So here we just put a nice message like hello to a specific user, which is a mass used object. Well, let me send to myself and see what happens. And do I need to get a completion block? No, not for now. Alright, so it's a very simple one, just a line of code, and I'm already sending a message to a user, in this case, to myself. If I run this code, I will send a message, but I will not receive anything. This is the first part of our flow. Sending a message is quite simple, as you can see. So let's handle incoming message. Well, for that to happen, as we learned, the first thing I need to do is actually add a listener. The listener will allow our application to monitor a specific channel used by the SDK whenever a message has arrived, as you can see here. This listener, it's monitoring a channel called Mess Connector Message Received Notification. And whenever a message arrives in that notification channel, our application will forward to the method called message received notification. That's how it works. The message arrived, the SDK will send a notification to that channel, and this listener will forward the message to this method that we need to create. So let's create this notification method here. As you can see, it's a notification method that received the notification. The first thing that I do is extract the message object from inside the notification. It's very simple. I just need to look for the key connect a message key, as you can see here, and I will get the message object. With that object in hand, we can do anything we want. For example, I can get the payload as a NS data. If I know that the payload is an image, I can just go straight and say payload type as an image. The SDK will convert and give me a UI image. If it is a UI image, or we get the UI image. If it is not, we get nil. If I know that the payload is a string, I can only call straight payload type as string, and I can get the result. You can actually even use both, because you know the SDK will set to nil if the type is not correct. Or you can get the raw NS data and do the conversion yourself. You can also get data about the sender. You can get the display name, you can get the object ID if you want to do a search in identity management and get the data from that user as well. You can get the sender type as a name, as a string. So you have a lot of information from that message object. So just quickly recap, we just created the listener to forward the message to a specific method that we call here message receive notification method. And from the notification, we extract the message object, and we do whatever we want with that object to go on with our implementation. This flow is almost complete. There is only one thing missing. We do all the handling when a notification is arriving, but we never told the SDK to listen to those notifications. So this is the only thing missing in our flow. In order to do that, it's very simple. As you know, we need to get the current user, because all the message notifications, all the message features are only available for the current user. So we need to get the current user instance variable. And from this one, we can start listening to my message. This API will tell the SDK to connect and start listening to any message that arrives to my user. I can get a return from this block as a true or false, and if any error occurs, I will receive the NS error, or I can just set to nil. I don't want to receive any feedback from this method. This is the method that will tell the SDK, connect me, make me online, and start listening to any message that someone will send it to me. And those two, the listener and the method, are the one responsible to handling the notification, handling the message that we arrive. It's very simple, as you can see, only 3 simple steps, and you are receiving message from any other user and handling the message as they arrive. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I see you next time. Thanks for watching.